The disappearance of the Dwarves has long been one of the great mysteries of the Elder Scrolls universe, with Todd Howard himself saying that he never wants to give a definitive answer on what happened to them, leaving fans to speculate and theorize based upon the various clues and in-game books that we can find. Today, we're taking a look at a mod that aims to shed some light on the Dwarves and their long-lost lore in Mysteries of the Dwemer, a quest mod by Nimwraith. This mod features a researcher named Maro, who will travel across Skyrim and tell the player what they can of the Dwarves and their often convoluted lore. Like many of Nimwraith's mods, this is a dialogue-focused story, and serves as a way to give players a more narrated version of Elder Scrolls lore that we would otherwise only see in the various in-game books. In many ways, this is very similar to their more recent mod, Once We Were Here, which instead focuses on the Snow Elves. The mod can safely be installed mid-game, with the only requirement being in the form of cloth physics for Maro's armor. But even then, there's an optional version of the mod for those who aren't using faster SMP. To get started, head to the Dwarven ruins of Mzulft and find Maro on the way up to the entrance.
Ah, greetings. A fellow adventurer, I take it?
Well, you'd be right. Yes. Who are you?
Maro, an explorer of the decrepit ruins you see before you. A scholar of their history. A seeker of their knowledge. I am all and more. Anything the Dwemer once held is now within my grasp.
Anything that they had? Alright, well, can you tell me more about them?
I shall start with the foundations. Its core you may know, but its finery may yet elude you.
Your finery eludes me.
A queer race they were, devoid of any semblance of reverence for the Aedra or Daedra. They scorned those who worshipped such figures, those who held utmost devotion to the fickle beings. Instead, this void was filled by the gods of reason and logic, those who provided the assurance of truth, and not the lies of divinity.
What were they like as a people?
Morality and ethics for the Dwemer were fickle. I do not doubt that compassion ran strong amongst their race. Yet, it seemed such kindnesses were not afforded to those beneath them, for they could not afford to be bound by such chains.
What did the Dwemer do to the other races? Oh, I know what they did to some of them.
Arrogant and filled with ideas of grandeur. They felt no remorse in conducting such atrocities to those beneath them. And so, a lifetime of servitude and experimentation were all that awaited those at the mercy of the Deep Folk.
Why study the Dwemer? Why study the Dwemer? But really, why study the Dwemer?
Why seek the glory of battle? Why yearn for the blood of the hunt? Why embrace the beast within you?
See, he did give three answers to my three questions.
And I do not question your motives.
Wait.
For it is simply within you. I am no different.
You know my actions? What does he mean by he knows my actions? Like, let's be a little bit more clear about this. You can't just say that. Like, which of my war crimes are you aware of?
Do not rack your mind with such quandaries. I simply do. Now, let us speak no more of this, for your sake and mine.
What ignited this passion? I want to know what he knows about me. I'm very curious. I'm a little worried. Do you know about, the Emperor?
In truth, I do not know. Years uncounted have passed since it was first struck, and I find myself becoming absorbed in other matters.
Can you tell me where they've gone? You seem to know a lot about these people. How?
A lifetime of arduous studying has its benefits. In truth, it is not only my scrolls that have allowed me such knowledge, but what I have discerned from my time traversing their ruins. The ancient automatons and all that was left behind paints a vivid picture, one that I have encapsulated in my mind.
Can you tell me where they've gone?
You ask of me an insurmountable task.
Yeah, I do.
One not known to the greatest of men, and those beyond. I am no different. The greatest minds are all subject to this fact, and only a void of uncertainties offer any absolution. If your curiosity does not wane, one day I may attempt to quell it with all I have learned.
Alright, well, it was good speaking to you. Farewell.
We shall meet again. Do not fret.
We will? Can you, can you tell me where?
Farewell.
Oh, okay.
Your curiosity for the deep folk shall have to wait.
Damn, you gonna tease me like that? You know where we're gonna meet next. You know, you could just tell me right now. Alright, next we should be able to find him at Bethardum's.
As Yanir.
Now, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's maybe intentional, but Aura Whisper doesn't seem to affect him. Little suspicious, might I say. Oh, you heard me. Did you?
It is as I said. Welcome.
I take it you've explored this place too?
Your assumptions are correct. While I have ventured into the sprawling depths of countless ruins, some have eluded my grasp. Even after all I have learned, all I have become, exploring those ancient halls still teeming with mechanical life leaves me only with more questions.
What else do you do aside from studying the Dwemer?
Think, ponder, theorize.
Okay, at first I thought he was
Call it
telling
what
me
you
to
wish.
think.
But that is the truth. This knowledge I possess must be sifted through, refined, if I am to understand its fragments. It is a laborious task, one that takes an eternity to complete, yet still I manage.
Could you tell me more about the Dwemer now?
Very well. I am not one to withhold the knowledge I have worked so tirelessly for. I shall speak of the core of all Dwemer society, the heart that beat life into the race, their lifeblood. Tonal architecture, a magic that, while sharing the same roots, does not conform to the standards of today. This distinction separated the Deep Elves from all others, granted them a power unheard of from all other races.
Why is this magic so powerful?
Its power near limitless. The Dwemer controlled sound itself to bend reality to their will. Not the childish imitations that fill your mind. Alteration and illusion magic cannot compare to what the Deep Folk were capable of.
He just wants to
With
keep
their vast
talking, he doesn't want
knowledge
to hear
of
from
smithing,
me.
They manufactured countless apparatus that allowed them to channel this power. Feats thought possible only by gods themselves were accomplished. Automatons perfect in their design were crafted, each minute detail precise, and each mechanism optimized to its fullest. Whole cities carved deep below the ground, every wall and intricate carving indistinguishable from the most talented of craftsmen.
Do you think this magic caused their disappearance? How do they harness this? I could just be like, yeah, that's enough, I'll see ya. I mean, this is like, you know, the greatest theory. Or there's a more specific theory because, you know, we haven't talked about Numidium yet, but yeah.
Your words seek to open a box filled with the deepest abyss, one that has engulfed the greatest minds Tamriel has ever known. I do not seek to join them in that embrace. Not today.
Yeah, I remember Arniel. Miss him a little bit.
You believe this knowledge to still thrive? To be attainable? No. All its practitioners are absent, and all that is left are the husks of their mastery. However they accomplished such feats is lost to time. Perhaps it is for the best, for the chaos it would sow would be of an unimaginable magnitude.
You know, he's not wrong.
As with you.
Well, once again, you know where you're going, you know where you're gonna see me next. Maybe,
This shan't be our last meeting.
Oh, okay, there's my hint. There's him hinting that there'll be more. But it's up to me to find him. Alright, and our third encounter with him should take place just by Alftand.
It is as I ordained.
You know, those boots look very heavy. What can you tell me about the Dwemer this time?
Your curiosity is commendable. Perhaps what I shall disclose will be an ample reward.
I'll be the judge of
I
that.
speak of the sole question that eats within all scholars, all acquainted with the mystery of the Deep Folk. Their disappearance, the cause of such an event, and where they now reside,
You know where they've gone?
It is as I said. This knowledge escapes all mortal men, and any who surpass such boundaries. To claim a mastery of this information, to harbor the secrets of their whereabouts is an impossible task. Yet, that does not eliminate the wild guesses that mortals' minds are so accustomed to. I am no exception.
Well, what do you think happened to them?
First, I must speak of what caused such an event, that which spurred the Dwemer into whatever abyss they now reside in. This conflict was forged within the depths of Red Mountain, for there resided the remains of Lorcan himself. Sensing the power of the dead god's heart, the Dwemer sprang upon the opportunity to fashion a deity of their own, the Anumidium. Leading the construction of this being was Kagranak. His mastery over tonal magic allowed him this position, and the construction of his tools.
His tools?
Apparatus constructed for the sole purpose of harnessing the heart's power. Their potential limitless. Their mere existence was a threat to all who walked Tamriel.
How did the Chimer find out about the Dwemer's plans?
Alerted to its presence by Azura herself, the Chimer demanded the dwarves to halt their attempts at constructing their deity. Refusing such a request, a conflict that would spell the end of the Dwemer was ignited.
So that's how it started then?
Yes, the Battle of Red Mountain. A bloody last stand for the Deep Folk, a coordinated ambush on their forces, or a diversion by the Chimer. No true account remains for this confrontation. Its origins lay in fragmented pieces, overshadowed by its aftermath. Whatever occurred, it matters not, for it is what follows which has now marked the annals of history.
What happened?
Those that led the Chimer's assault, the Tribunal, Dagoth and Nerevar himself entered the chamber. What transpired in that room is now lost to time, and only its consequences remain. With the Dwemer gone, the conflict abruptly ended, and all Tamriel were left to wonder what had occurred in that chamber.
What do you think happened in that room?
Kagranak's tools may be the cause of this plight. Their architect was one of unparalleled mastery, and capable of terrible things. Their power paired with the remains of the trickster god may paint a canvas of truth, but who swung the tools shall always remain forgotten. Now, do not mistake my words for fact. Despite all my insight on the Dwemer, in this regard, I possess no more knowledge than you.
So, how do you think they disappeared?
Many theories circulate the minds of academics. Perhaps Azura and Nerevar harnessed the tools, ending their race. Or Kagranak, in his final moments, attempted to use his creations, and for his hubris, he brought the wrath of all the divines to all the Dwemer. Yet, it is neither the latter or the former that captivates my mind. I believe its truth lies with the Anumidium, the construct of the Deep Folk. When Kagranak's tools were struck upon the heart, it was the Creator that wielded them, with the intent to fuel the Anumidium. Such a device had one sole purpose, for all the Deep Folk to ascend beyond Albus and achieve godhood. It was this intent that brought such destruction upon them all. Their hubris for power spelled the end of their race.
A convincing theory.
Convincing it may be, but it does not offer any certainties, only a void of more questions. Now, have you heard of the Dwemer's attempted ascension? I ask this of you. Has such a calling ever beckoned to you?
No, of course not. It's too great of a task. For now, no. But I don't know what the future may hold. That is what I strive for. I will become a god. No. Not even that it's too great of a task. I don't have any interest.
I do not fault you. It is a path of unwavering difficulty, one that often ends in a death most unfulfilling. Hear my words and listen. If that is your wish, steer clear of its tempting road. Avoid the fate of the deep folk.
I will. Thank you.
It is no issue. Now, I must leave this place, for I fear I have said too much. Take my wisdom with you, and do not forget it.
Well...
I have said all I must.
Okay, well, I know there's one more encounter with you, so, you get going, I'll see you there, and... If anything, I kind of wonder what that last conversation will be then, because that does feel pretty final. Is that gonna be you? Okay, so... He's not at Avanchenzel itself, he's instead on this hill that kind of overlooks it, so I'll show exactly where it is on the map. This is... Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a trek, and you're gonna have to find him in kind of like the mountains to the east of Avanchenzel itself. But I found him, I got
You found me even here. Welcome.
Yeah, you know, you can give me a quest marker. Why are you here?
It is a place of beauty, is it not? Perhaps I simply seek to appreciate this fickle world, and all the beings that inhabit it. Or maybe you have sated my curiosity for the Dwemer, allowed me to come to terms with the knowledge I shall never possess. Whatever the case, it matters not. I am here, and so are you.
You make it sound like this'll be our final meeting.
It may very well be. Despite the one truth that still eludes my grasp, I have accomplished much. I have done all I wish, and see no sense in continuing it all.
So, what? Wait, hold on. Wait, so you're gonna commit suicide? I just thought he was gonna, like, hang up his head, hang up his helmet. Damn.
Death won't be my end. That I am certain of. Whatever happens, do not concern yourself with me. I shall be happy, wherever I end up.
Have you got any more stories of the Dwemer for me?
Curiosity runs in your veins, doesn't it? Alas, I see no point in sharing such tales, not after all we have spoken of.
Who are you exactly?
Oh, after all this time, and only now you ask this. It is as I said. I am all and more.
Well, I'll leave you to whatever you're doing. Goodbye.
Before you leave, please, listen. This life we live, you and I, is one of fragility. Each moment, word and experience could be our last, but still we continue on. It is the only thing all beings can cherish, no matter their origin. All can appreciate the chirping of birds, the beauty of a sunset, and the warmth of those they love. Now, I deign to ask of you, do you take such an opportunity for granted?
Of course not. Life is beautiful and should always be cherished. I think I do. Life can be awful sometimes. It's hard to appreciate it. I like that I can, have a little choice here. Same with when he asks you if you want to be a god. I like life. It's beautiful.
Good. We see eye to eye then. Yet, I urge you not to forget the sorrow that may plague one's life, for it shall come back. It may not be today or tomorrow, but it shall return. When it does, remember that such sadness is part of the human condition, but we shall always endure. That is the beauty of mortality. Remember my words, and you shall find the beauty within even the darkest of times.
Thank you. I'll remember that. Goodbye.
Farewell, friend.
Still have questions about you. I still want to know how much you know about me. But I guess that's for another time then. Like many of Nimwraith's mods, the goal of this was to give players a new, interesting NPC that they could encounter over the course of a playthrough. Maro serves as a scholar, who seemingly knows more than he lets on, including about the Dragonborn and their adventures. Even by the end, Maro remains a bit of a mystery, which I guess is only fitting for a mod about the Dwarves. As always, Meek Voice does a great job, and for me, he's easily become one of the staples in voiced Skyrim mods. Not only was their acting really well done, but I also like that we do get a bit of a filter to make it sound like we're hearing them through the helmet. I enjoyed our encounters and conversations with Maro, but I do think there were a couple opportunities that would have been good to add. Maybe some quest awareness, where we could mention our own encounter with Keening, along with Arniel Gain's disappearance. That, or some conversations about the specific locations where we find Maro, having him talk about Blackreach when we meet him outside Ulftand, a mention of Ethereum outside of Mazulft, and so on. I do really like that he has his own unique set of armor, which comes courtesy of the Eastern Brassplate set by Pulcharm Solus. And I kinda wish we had the opportunity to ask him about it too. Maybe if he gave us a little backstory on how he came to find it. But even with all that said, I did really like the encounters that we did have. And like his more recent mod, which focuses on the Snow Elves, Mysteries of the Dwemer gives us a great chance of getting to hear the lore that we might otherwise only see in books. And I'm always happy to have a more narrated way of interacting with it, having a couple questions thrown into the mix to flesh it out, with Maro asking your views on life, or if you'd want to become a god. I really like that we got the Morrowind mentions as well, the Dwemer's war against the then Chimer, the mention of the Tribunal, and so on. If you've played Morrowind, or done more of a deep dive into the lore, you probably know some of this already, but if you've only played Skyrim, these stories might be new to you. I did see some comments on the mod page about having trouble finding Maro for the subsequent meetings, as he doesn't give an indicator on where he'll go next. And I had to reference the mod page, the image gallery, and the comments in order to find him myself. But ultimately, I think many of his mods are best played over the course of a full playthrough, where you might stumble upon these characters accidentally, after hours, days, or even weeks of playing. It serves as a nice little surprise to then find these characters and see their story continue. But that's gonna be all for today. As always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.